It's okay to sing along. Go for it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going today, guys? Get some cameras on. Unmute some mics. You guys know that we have 3 things that we're grateful for before we get into anything else. So start thinking about that. Interesting though, I actually just went to, not too long ago, to a Counting Crows concert with Dashboard Confessionals, right? Which tells about like the age that I grew up in at this point in time, right? And let me tell you, like both of those guys could sing their ass off still. The Dashboard Confessional guys looks like he's still 22 years old. And I'm like, damn, how did that happen? But Counting Crows, man, there's a slight, I don't know if you guys knew, I didn't really, like, I wasn't a big alternative person, like when I was actually in high school. And so, like, this guy dated Jennifer Aniston, had these beautiful, like, locks and stuff like that. He was like he might have been like one of Hollywood's sexiest men alive at one point. The guy has changed. He has not aged as gracefully as Dashboard Confessionals. I'm going to leave it at that because the guy still has a killer voice, and my opinion doesn't matter about him anyway. So there's that. As we're thinking about what we are grateful for and stuff here, I see Jared, Ryan, Bay. Man, I was so glad just to spend a little bit of time with all of you guys out at EXPCon last weekend. Anytime that we get to spend some FaceTime and stuff is just awesome. And man, getting to go out on the yacht party on the Bay of Miami and stuff was absolutely awesome. So it was such a pleasure, guys. But as we start off every other week, guys, let's talk about what we are grateful for before we jump into things. Who has the first thing that they want to share about what they are grateful for?
I'll go.
Talk to me, my man.
I'm grateful to be a part of this network and this whole organization, and EXPCon just just affirmed that I'm in the right place.
Yeah. You didn't think the 50 listings that you've gotten had told you that already?
Well, that also told me that, but just without plugging in and going, you really don't
Yeah.
know the depth of this whole brokerage, the network, the people you can surround yourself with. There's so many avenues that EXP gives you to take your business, and you would never know it if you didn't plug in. And
Yeah.
it was actually very eye-opening for me this week, and I just can't wait to see what the future brings.
Yeah, well, I mean that's funny because one of the key things that you talked about, Jared, was actually plugging in, right? Like all of the tools and resources are here, guys. Like I had hired on this gentleman in Chicago because he wanted to get into REO. I've helped a few people get into REO, increase their business in the REO and default space. He left about 8 months later, right? And I was like, what happened? Like, you're in Chicago. Like, why? What? He's like, well, I haven't got anything. I felt like it was a bill of goods. And so I keep logs of all of the communication that I have with each of you guys. So I went back to my communication log. Literally, he had not signed up for Pyramid. He had not signed up for Bid on Homes. He had not submitted his applications. He had not done any of the revenue certifications. And I was like, bro, if you're not part of these systems, I can't do a damn thing at the end of the day. Like, if you can't fill out the application, the odds that you are going to do the things that are required for an REO asset is preposterous, right? Like, so, my feelings weren't hurt at all or anything like that. He was just not the right person for, to align with us. And that's totally fine too, right? But the people that do lean in, I can tell you guys this, the more that you lean in, the more you'll get out of this. We have some of the top producing agents in the country in this group, and literally it's an open book. Like, you guys want to know how to build bigger teams, how to recruit local agents, how to do this, how to connect with your broker, like anything that you guys need, you just have to plug in. And if you don't know where to plug in, that's where I want you guys to come to me. I don't know how to do everything, but I do know who does, right? And I will point you guys in the right direction, and we will all do more together. So thank you for that, Jared. I appreciate it, brother. All right, who has the second win for the week?
I've got one. EXP announcing that if you cap or icon, you get full advantage of all the tiers. I mean, who doesn't cap or icon in this group if, like you said, you plug in?
Yes, yes. And that's, hopefully that incentivizes. Like, I know that, you've started building your group and team. Others are kind of dabbling in stuff with that. But that is a powerful tool. That is extra, right? Like, that's not why you come and join this group or the company or anything like that. But that's a big portion that's extra, right? And it can, depending on who you bring on, like, what if you brought on a Joseph Limo, that brought on a Jerry Stapp, that brought on a Larry White, and now you have 800 people underneath you, right? Like, you don't know what somebody's going to do. I've had some people that I thought were going to change the game, be my largest group, and they do nothing. And then I have other people that are brand new to real estate and are bringing in people like their first week, right? But you want to find people that are your tribe and that you want to work with, that you want to help, that you want to support and stuff at the end of the day. But yeah, man, that was a game changer for people like Jeff Russell, for Joseph Limo, for James Cottrell and stuff like that, that are doing a lot of production and automatically unlock some of those tiers and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a huge win as well. Beautiful. Who has our third win for the week, guys? That's somebody knocking, or like Jason, did you have something? Nope, he did not. He just
Sorry, I was coughing, Larry, and I couldn't find my mute button here. I was just excited about a couple escrow repair negotiations that were successfully concluded for some clients, and those were especially sticky this time around. But I was glad that we could find agreement and keep things moving forward.
Congratulations on that, my friend. And you got a lot of momentum and stuff going over there. Ariana actually asked me this yesterday, right? I know that you have obviously some ties to Wedgwood and stuff like that. And you were their broker of record for some time. And actually, production was opposite of what you were looking for, right? Do you still like send a lot of business to them? Do they still buy and relist with you on the properties that you do send over? And is that still part of your business plan?
Yeah, totally. They're still one of my top clients. They're buying here. They're buying in, three other markets in Texas and a number of other states. So they're still doing their business. I still have several acquisitions in process with them currently, and a number of listings as well. So still a big part of my business, and still doing business out there everywhere else.
Beautiful. And here's one of the things, like we talked about this 2 years ago, right? I remember sitting down in the cafe with you a few years ago, duplicating what you're doing here in the other markets, not just in Texas, right? But finding, a Jason or somebody that's young and hungry that wants to duplicate your process because you built such a beautiful model for the acquisition. Find somebody in San Antonio, find somebody in Dallas, right? We find that, and then we help other people build a team underneath you doing the same things that you're doing. Like we could go to Atlanta, right? Like this is where we just have to have a little bit of time to focus on that, and we can drive, people. I could look in my database and reach out and say, hey, look, the Hooley Group is, looking for an acquisitions manager or whatever it might be. Like now that we're starting to get stabilized and stuff here, business is continuing to come in. Now we got to start look at scaling this process and take advantage of this. So whenever you're ready, man, just know that I'm here for you. Beautiful, guys. All right, well, let's get into it. One of my favorite people here, Mr. Ryan Luthi. Ryan, how long have you been with us, man? You've been with us, like you were one of the early adapters and stuff, right? Like how long have you been with us now?
5 years. Yep. So this is
5 years.
My renewal or my anniversary date's August 1st. So yeah, I remember it well. Came with a lot of transactions. I was freaking out because I transferred in July, which for me in Minnesota is a pretty busy month. So pretty excited, man. Six year in the making here right now. So
congratulations on just that alone. How many years have you hit Icon at this point in time?
Officially 4. I did figure that out since the last time I spoke a while back. But yeah, I missed it by 1 that first year, but because of COVID, but oh well. So yeah, it's been an awesome ride, man.
So, and Ryan, I was introduced through an old business partner of mine who Ryan owned a brokerage with up at Minnesota. I mean, both of them are absolutely rock stars. Now, Ryan does a number of different things, right? So now, not only is Ryan a top producer, he also is big in the investment game, which a lot of you guys are as well. Like I'm invested in a few of his projects with syndications and stuff like that. He's constantly fixing, flipping, educating, running large investment networks and stuff. And he's constantly looking to diversify. Right. And so this is where this new project, which, he just briefly mentioned on a call a few weeks ago, and people were blowing him up and was like, well, Ryan, like, how do we get this? Like, Ryan, like, can we set this up? And I was like, damn it, Ryan, just hold them off a second and tell them that we will get to everybody at one point in time. That way we can manage his time and everything like that. So Ryan, if you wouldn't mind, man, I know you've been here with us, but give everybody a quick elevator speech on yourself, and like, why did you decide to take on one more thing onto your plate at the end of the day? Because you're a husband, you're a father, right? You're a successful business owner, like you're running syndications, you got a lot on your plate. Like, why the hell did we pick on one more thing? But start with kind of the origination. How long you been in real estate? Give everybody a little background on yourself.
Sure. I grew up building houses with my dad. So my first property was in 2011. I bought a duplex. I house hacked it, before the phrase house hacking even existed. And then it became cool. And so about a year after that, I got my license and started a brokerage with Eric, a friend of mine. Go ahead.
Hold on one second. Some people, it's not as familiar with house hacking because they don't have multi-family homes like duplexes and triplexes in a lot of areas. So what's house hacking?
Sorry. So if you buy a multifamily property specifically, sometimes you can do it with a single family where basically you live in part of the property and rent out either the second unit of a duplex, or in some cases, people are even doing it with single families where they live in one bedroom and they're maybe in their early 20s, recent grad, and they'll rent out other bedrooms to basically cover a portion, if not all, of their mortgage. So the idea was, put a small down payment down, because there's great loan options with 3.5% down or 5% down, where if you're buying especially if it's easy, if you're buying your first home, as long as you live in it, you can do a much smaller down payment. So now that I'm no longer living in them, when I buy a multifamily or anything like that, it's a 25% down minimum if you're buying 2 to 4 unit, with Fannie Freddie 30-year fixed financing. So huge opportunity. And I was tired of renting, and it was like, okay, this makes sense. That's actually how my dad got started in the 80s. His interest rate was 12.5%. So when I told him mine, he was happy for me, but you could see a little cringe, like, oh yeah. So anyways, then I jumped into real estate because I was like, this is super cool, and I wanted to help other people do that, kind of show them the path. So a big part of what I've done in the last 10 plus years in real estate has been focused on multifamily investing, but primarily helping other people understand the ropes. So whether it's just a 25-year-old looking to buy one duplex, live in it, and then have a single family, and that's going to be a rental in the future, or if they want to build a portfolio, that kind of thing. So worked with independent brokerage, building that up for about 5 years, and then jumped over to EXP. After the meeting, we were at a conference, and Larry presented over, I think, a glass of wine at a nice little wine bistro, the information that I could never unsee. So had him buy me out of the partnership, and kind of emotional because it was like our baby, like leaving a child with someone. But anyways, jumped to EXP, immediately launched, had awesome success, did the auction platform and all sorts of the tools that Larry and the greater team had provided and put together, and it's been super duper fun. EXP stock and Icon and all the things have changed my life for sure. So it's been a really fun deal.
EXP bought your Tesla, right?
It's true. I took an opportunity when some of the stock went bonkers to cash out some of it, and bought a Tesla with cash. So I drive around in my EXP stock every single day. So
there you go, man. There you go. Cool. So yes, absolutely. And so what are we here for today? Like, so obviously you're a big pillar of this community, right? Like you do a lot of business, right? Like you're very active in the community. What are we talking about today?
So about 2 months ago, something like that, a company reached out to me called Elavix, and they reached out to me, or they found me on LinkedIn, and because I was a realtor and all that stuff. And so I kind of took a look at what they have and the platform they have, and I was super interested because we all network for a living. We building connections, building relationships that hopefully turn into something, right, is really the nature of what we do at its core, right? If we simplify it down. And so I saw this as a tool when I thought about my, I have a small rev share team of about 25 agents. And so I thought of new agents, experienced agents, and the challenges that we see. And I just was really passionate about this being a tool that more agents should be using, because the company had worked with tons of realtors, and that was a really common theme of people that really could use this digital hub to their benefit. So I was like, you know what? Not only would I like to use this, test it out, and once I tested it out, I kind of talked to them about helping them promote and share this with other people like you guys. So excited today to kind of share what I've been working on here as a little side project, just just to keep life interesting, one of my 27 hats, as Larry already highlighted. So yeah.
Well, let's dig into it, man, because there was a lot of interest when you just kind of showed this to us as a sneak peek on our mastermind a couple of weeks ago. So let's jump into it.
Cool. Well, I'm going to try and share my screen. What are you guys seeing right now? Are you seeing my phone by chance? No?
Right
Black
now
screen?
it's black. It says it's nope. Now it just shut off.
I'll try
so
this
nothing.
again. Trust.
It says double click to enter full screen mode. It says that you're in screen sharing mode.
Yeah, I'm trying to share my phone because it's kind of cool to see it when it works. Zoom is connect your iPhone and select trust. Where do I select trust?
You have a notification that popped up anywhere?
Well, I can just I'll just show you it on my computer screen here instead. So all right, can you guys see the cool drone video of the Twin Cities? Sweet.
Yep, we can see that, yes.
So this is my digital hub, and I own multiple URLs and things, so you can kind of see how Elavix allows you to private label, basically white label it. So they're all about building your brand and your business. And so when I started to dig into this, I realized there's some simple ways to use this as a tool. How many out there have lost a business card in the past, or put a number in their phone and forgot to follow up, right? Or put a number in their phone, had a great conversation, planned to follow up, couldn't remember the person's name, etc. Right? So
yeah.
One of the neat things about this from a face-to-face networking component is the share and save contact piece. So if you have a business card and you share it with someone, has anyone ever had them immediately start typing your information in their phone? Unfortunately, I've never had that happen, right? So, if you're going to call or follow up, that's pretty unlikely. So what you can do is hit save contact. So if someone goes to my hub here, all they have to do on their phone is hit add to contacts. And then that immediately is going to allow them to, on the computer, it downloads the virtual business card. But on your phone, it'll pop up and you just scroll down and hit save new contact. So what's cool is in a networking opportunity, someone you just met is saving your number and your website and your hub and your email and all your stuff, your name spelled correctly, your headshot, all immediately in their phone. So you've got, real estate, pun intended, in their phone immediately. And then once they save their contact, they can share back theirs. And so basically this typically autofills, sends it back to you. But this is kind of where, to me, I was starting to see, a huge benefit for people like us that are constantly meeting people. We don't always have our business card, right? But I always have my phone in my pocket. And so when they share back their contact, that goes back to this back office where, it puts them in here. So basically, instead of wondering where they are in my phone or that kind of thing, they basically go into my database immediately. It has a timestamp. It tells me, all sorts of things, and I can even add some notes and things. So it's kind of a basic CRM. So great way to exchange contact in a quick fashion. And obviously this is showing them a lot more than a business card about my professionalism, some cool videos, things like that. So this can be a still photo, could be your logo, could be whatever. So all they have to do is
quick question on that is, so that goes into there, right? The last thing that we want is another database to have to manage at this point in time, right? Is there ways for that to automatically go into CRM, like, could we use Zapier, right? Could we zap this into CRM Grow, to KV Core, to Follow Up Boss, whatever other CRM that we are using, so that we don't have another system to manage?
Yes, great question. So once you've shared a contact, or shared yours and somebody else has sent you back theirs, that goes back to your back office here. So what happens is then basically you can either export these to Excel, put them into a drip email campaign if you have MailChimp or whatever, or you can actually do Zapier exactly like Larry said, and connect that to basically any CRM that you're using. And 99.9% of all CRMs out there will go to will connect with Zapier. So that's a pretty cool feature. But the cool part is you're never going to lose the leads. So it really just allows you to do whatever you want with them. And in addition, that great job, don't forget to follow up, right? So there are some systems in there to help save us from ourselves if we forget to follow up, which I love. So if you already have a CRM, you already have a nurture campaign built out, you can make this basically auto flow right into that. So depending on what you have built, this can flow right into it. So in addition to kind of managing contacts, things like that, and again, I just want to highlight, I don't know if I explained this, all they have to do is scan the QR code here. So when you have your hub up in front of somebody, if you're face-to-face, you just tap your QR code, it gets big, and then they can scan it, and then you can get right into their phone. So the other issue that I had, has anyone been, a bit frustrated with the fact that they've got reviews on Zillow and Google, and they've got YouTube videos over here, and they've got a website over here, and all that stuff, where you just feel like you have 50 different places where people might connect with your stuff? Well, that's where I've been at, and as I've added things along the way, done some, I think, kind of cool listing videos, and some when video became kind of a big tool, I really dove in head first. But the problem is my YouTube channel takes them away from all my other stuff. And so it's literally leading them away. And so what I did was I basically took my hub to basically take everything that I had in all these other places, and I put it all here. So if somebody clicks on, or goes to bluedoormn.me and they want to connect, they can, if they're on their phone, they can call me or text me or email me right there with a tap of a button. They can also book an appointment. So I have a Calendly link. Does anyone else have a Calendly link out there? Mm-hmm. So what's cool is, so somebody like Larry, who maybe doesn't want to give their hour or half-hour time out to anyone, you can choose which link this goes to. So it might just be a 15-minute, quick phone call, intro phone call, but a chance for someone to literally book their time right in your calendar. So that was a pretty cool feature that I was really excited about. In addition to that, I've got 70 plus 5-star reviews. So I basically just took those from all the places where those have been posted, whether it's Zillow, Google, my website, KV Core stuff, wherever. And I just started copying and pasting them into here. So the cool part is then people can stay on my hub and review all the different, things that people have said about me. And of course I threw a really good cheesy one here and there to begin with. And some fun ones. You guys can enjoy reading those. One says it could be a psychiatrist if I ever stop being in real estate. So if you're bored, maybe take a read. But recently I actually was able to add my KV Core linked EXP website, IDX connected, into here, I was pretty excited about this. And one of the other things that was exciting is I had paid for, when I jumped over 5 years ago, I paid for Agent Image. It's a realtor focused company that builds beautiful websites for realtors, but they are not bashful with their pricing. So I paid thousands of dollars to have that built out because I'm not a code guy. I'm not a tech. I mean, I like tech, but I'm not that guy. And then I was paying $200 a month for SSL and hosting and this and that, and another $50 for IDX and all this, right? To have an additional website that I could completely customize and do it that way. And so I've actually just recently canceled that. So I'm saving about $3,000 a year because I just don't need that website, and I'm not getting business from it. It's not bringing in leads. And so it just made sense to kind of move my focus to this. And the other cool part is I can make changes to this at the click of a button, and they update in real time. And I'll show you guys the back office and kind of demo some of that in a second. So
real quick, let's highlight on that for a second here, Ryan, right? Because I want to just highlight like some of the things that I thought, would be of massive benefit, right? We all have a website. We all have all of these different things, and it pulls a lot of these into one place. We have to have them, but people don't use them very often, right? So this is where, when I've been coaching clients, I've had clients, against my judgment, pay $8,000 to create a website, like within the last 5 years, which is crazy to me, because I'm like, one, who's going to your website? Because right now we're competing with Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, people that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in your marketplace. So do your clients want to make sure that you have a website and stuff? Yes, absolutely, right? It's almost like, you need a business card, or you need some form of a business card, right? You need all of these things, but the days of us having a website and it generating thousands of leads every single month are over, right? There's way too much competition. Those days have passed at this point in time, where you could produce these leads for pennies and stuff like that. But this kind of combines a lot of the things that you need, and allows you to reduce a lot of costs if you're paying for these outside of it. So I just wanted to make sure, right? Like the MLS function and stuff like that, we all have these, but it brings it all into place, allows you to reduce some costs. And whatever you're spending money on, you got to evaluate, like, is this getting a return on investment at the end of the day?
yeah, tough pill to swallow after 5 years. Probably wish I'd have had this a while ago. But anyways, the other thing that I've realized is, to Larry's point, people go to your different, wherever you have content, right? Whether that's social media, your website, Google, whatever, and they consume it a little bit differently, right? Everyone's a little different. So what I've found is people navigate your resources wherever you are, wherever you exist, and like I said, all these different places, they experience it and explore you in a different way. And so one of the other cool features of this hub is right here is this greeting video. And there's a studio in the back office where you can just record a quick video. It's super simple, and then it uploads right to your hub. And if they click here, it talks about, can you guys hear this?
No, not at this point, no. You may not have clicked the little button that said share sound.
So, there's a little button. Well, anyways, it basically just says, hey, I'm Ryan Luthi. Thanks for coming to my hub. I know when you're trying to choose a real estate agent, we can all look kind of the same. And I don't want you to tell, I'd rather not have you take my word for it. I'd love for you to explore my hub here. So if you want, go down below and check out my reviews and watch my videos and do that, right? And I literally kind of like a little bird on their shoulder chirping in their ear saying, here's how you should explore my, my hub. And here's how you should get to know me and see what I'm all about. So you can basically guide their experience through getting to know you, and really seeing what your brand is all about, what your experience is, and that kind of thing. What's your special sauce, right? And that's one of the things that my website never really did. And I think when we're all being honest, it's our brand. They're hiring us, right? You're selling yourself, right? And that's what real estate's all about. So pretty excited about that. And I think that's just kind of a cool tool to help guide people if they click on that link. Or click on the video.
We've been talking for years, guys. Like, video is the highest engagement ratio that you could have right now, over text, over email, over anything else. That is the highest, like, open ratios, conversion ratios, etc., which kind of ties all this in together.
So speaking of video, I put my YouTube videos, basically for now, just a handful of kind of the top ones that I thought were the most relevant to the biggest audience, and basically put those right here. And so, as I mentioned before, I have a YouTube page. I have that, and I have like 25 plus videos on there. Some are in-person listing videos like this one here at a lake listing. This is another one, a townhome listing. This one's here is about 5 ways to prep for selling, right? So depending on where somebody's at and what they're looking for, this gives them a little sample for the type of marketing and things like that I do. But it's embedded into the website, the hub here, so they don't leave, which was huge to me because I'm keeping them in one place. So that's
Which
pretty cool.
basically means it doesn't take them to YouTube, right? So on a lot of times when you click on a link or video, it will take you off of Instagram. It will take you off of TikTok. It will take you off of here. And then YouTube has spent all of this money trying to, oh, this person likes this. Let me send you this. Let me send you this. So now you stay on this new site, right? So they can see that content, but it keeps them on your page at the end of the day, right? They don't have to go to KV Core. They don't have to go to a different website to access your MLS. It keeps them here at the end of the day, which is what you want, right? You want people to spend as much time on your site as possible when they're evaluating and looking at you.
Yeah. And if you go Google, to Larry's point, Google and Zillow and YouTube, they're all working super hard and spending a crap ton of money to keep you there, right? So when you go there to see a review of yours, right, and you send someone there, or you go to YouTube, they're going to go, oh, cool, watch your video. And then on the right-hand side, they're going to see like John Smith, top agent in your area, 5 reasons to, whatever. Like, and so it's like literally sending to a place where they're being marketed to by someone to compete with you. So, I didn't really want to do that. And so that's one of the cool features that I think is pretty neat. They can also make an inquiry here. So if they're like, yeah, this is great, how do I connect with them? I mean, they can obviously share their contact. They can also just type it in here. And then this actually becomes a lead in the back office here. So pretty cool. And another thing, I put my mission in here. You guys, you can add as many tabs as you want. You can reorganize them, kind of put them how you want, so that the first few are the most important. And for me, I thought that the reviews and MLS search were super important. I might change that to media. I really like to have the videos in there. But the last part I was going to show you is pretty cool. So as I mentioned before, I've done a lot of work with multifamily and investors and things. So if you click right here, it actually brings you to a downloadable PDF of 5 landlord pro tips. So you can build that right in. And so they can have something, neat to kind of download, check out, and see that you know your stuff. So, so that's the basics of the hub. Oh yeah, down here too, you also have your links to social. We purposely, those are lined up at the bottom because, like, again, I love social. But the idea the strategy that I've taken is, rather than, have people go to your website and then click a review or go somewhere else from whatever you're doing, I'm using my social, my interactions, anything else to bring people back to my hub. So basically kind of the opposite, right? So wherever they are, I want to bring them here. And so that way, I have the best chance of connecting with them and actually, meeting them and doing some business. So. Any questions so far?
So essentially, it's a business card, it's a website, it's your MLS search function, right? All wrapped up into one that can also connect with, whatever CRM and stuff that you guys are using at this point in time through Zapier and stuff like that. And so, it's allowed you to get rid of your website, your different hosting platforms and things to that nature, which adds a lot of value and just kind of makes it easier. Right? As many conferences and stuff, man, I've been to a lot of conferences with you guys already, right? Again, handing out this physical business card or, making sure that you get into somebody's phone and them reconnecting and stuff with you right then and there. There's already, like, who are some of your competitors, like, to this kind of hub platform, and what's the difference between you and some of your competitors and stuff that are out there?
So the kind of competition, I guess, if you which is true in some ways, would be digital business card companies, Dot, and things like that. And the interesting thing is, from what I've experienced, and I'd be curious what you guys have experienced, is many people out there realtors or anyone in a space like us where we're networking to grow our business and, you know, build things, they're not using them to their, you know, they're really not using them much, and or they're not using them to their capacity. And I've also noticed this big focus on replacing a paper card with a plastic, what they call an NFC card, which is just a fancy name for the tap card thing. But the problem is, when I've seen people use these tap cards or try to, at least half of the time, if not more, they don't work. So really, to me, it was like, okay, you know, what does that mean, right? So the competition out there is selling a digital business card. They're just selling the replacement to the exchange of contact information, and that's great, and that's a tool in itself. But for me, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of at a whole nother level, right? Where I'm building in, you know, my videos, and I can customize the background, and I can make a, you know, have it go to my own URL and all that stuff. So the branding is completely, you know, you can white label it, which is something that most of the other companies seem to kind of always want their logo on everything. And so this is something where when they go to this, they don't think of Dot or Blink or whatever else. They think of me and my brand, right? And so I really like that, because that was super important to me. So do you want me to show the back end a little bit, Larry, and kind of how that all works?
Sure. And are there any questions and stuff on the platform and stuff with Ryan at this point in time before he jumps into the back end? All right. Go for it, brother.
Cool. So as I mentioned, we have, you know, a number of different kind of pieces in here. And again, the goal of this is not to replace your CRM, because most people have a CRM and hopefully are using it. I think KV Core is a super powerful CRM. Obviously, we all have that. We can boost our open houses, do all that. So the goal isn't to replace that. And so this can connect into those, as we mentioned before, but it does also give you some basic analytics of what's happening. So this shows how many views my hub has had. It shows whether they're desktop or mobile, how many shares. You can break that down. So, you know, kind of cool. Even shows location. So that's another kind of neat thing. So that may not be super duper, you know, but you know, interesting to you. But I think sometimes if you go to an event or you host something or you network with people, it's interesting to see how people are engaging. So you can see, you know, all the stats here, how many downloads and that kind of thing. So, but if you go to your hub, one of the other things I wanted to show you is I have multiple hubs. So how many of you out there are doing some recruiting or trying to build a rev share group? So one of the things that I've found is more than once, unfortunately, I've lost business to people that thought I only did multifamily, because I had kind of carved out this niche so hard and my website was so focused on multifamily that they were like, oh, we didn't realize you help single family people too, because when we bought our $850,000 personal residence. I'm like, oh, great, awesome, neat. I'm so glad that I didn't get to work with you. So that frustrated me. But I wasn't really sure what to do, right? What do I do? Have two sides of my business card and have kind of like well, today I'm a luxury agent, and oh, just kidding, I'm a multifamily agent. So what's cool is you can build out 2-3 hubs, whatever you'd like, and have them focused on different things. So you could have a team building coach, trainer, teacher, you know, whatever, you know, like Larry's hub will look very, very different from an active agent who's, you know, driving business for themselves. So that's another kind of cool component. You can change basic info in here. You know, this is pretty standard. One of the other things that I like is, obviously, in order to use these tools effectively, you need to have some tutorials and understand how to build it. And I have 80% of this in about 10 minutes, believe it or not, because I had the drone video on my computer. I had the you know, headshots, logos, whatever I wanted to put in there, and then I recorded this video in, you know, a minute or two, right in the back end here. But if you're curious, you can click on these little camera icons, and that'll pop up a video of how to do to teach you how to do what you need to do in that area of the back office here. So as you can see, you can manage your different pages. In addition to who out there is doing some online marketing or outbound stuff where you're paying pay-per-click or things like that? Anyone out there doing that kind of thing? So if you are doing that, you can also build landing pages. So it's a great way to kind of, again, funneling people into one place, you know, and if you are doing anything, outreach, social media, whatever, you can bring them to here to really experience what you're all about. And then you can manage your pages. So this is where I could move my mission statement up to 2, which would mean that it would be right here in that second spot. So you can choose, you know, what shows up in what order, so that you can kind of guide people the way that you want them to experience your brand and what you're all about. So as I mentioned here, I put the drone video in here, but you can do a slider images. You could have images of you with clients that you've closed houses in your market on a slide for the header over here. And then as you can see, this is your preview. So it all happens in real time. And I don't build websites and things like that. So this is pretty cool because I can basically type stuff in or upload a photo and it just makes it look pretty. And I can make sure that I like the look of it before I actually publish and save it. So you can record a video. This is the greeting video I have. I could delete this. I can hit remove and I could do another one. It's literally right here. You click a button and then right in your computer using your webcam, it'll record you. You can change your text colors, so matching up with your brand. If you have a, you know, when I first joined EXP 5 years ago, there was only a couple hundred EXP agents in the state of Minnesota. So I had people calling it EXP Realty, which since then I haven't heard much. But I was like, wow. I was like, people have no idea what this is. So I at the time I did Blue Door Real Estate, just to kind of create like a sub brand and a team name in my community. And so that's kind of where the blue colors come from. So you can match those to whatever your jam is, or just pick your favorite colors, whatever you like. You can add your media, written testimonials, video testimonials, all that kind of stuff, depending on how you want it to lay out. And then this is where I put in, all I did was put the link to those YouTube videos that I wanted right here. And then I hit update. So if I wanted to add another video, I could go to YouTube, copy the link, add it in, and then hit update, and that'll pop in and add to there as well. So image gallery.
So super user friendly, right? Like takes place of a lot of different things. Now we talked about, you know, you spending a couple $100s on a website, a couple hundred, you know, $20 here, $30 here, Popple, this, that, right? And the point is not to, you know, take all of those things and replace with something, you know, that's $500 a month of like just all in one place. So like, so this it has a lot of functionality. It's super user friendly. I think everybody can get behind the fact that, you know, it's needed, especially to capture data and stuff from other people at this day and age. What's something like this cost, man?
It's kind of crazy to me because I literally, like I mentioned, I just canceled my $250 a month website cost, but it's $9.99 a month. And there's no hosting. So I purchased the bluedoormn.me for $4.99 for the year. And now I pay $9.99 per month to have this instead of $250. So this is the company website, Elavix, Elavix.com. This is where you can do a free trial. You get a 7-day free trial. You guys can check this out and read more about it. But I mean, I think what we talked about today is probably, you know, plenty. So you can click on here, do a free trial. You can also, if you're signed up, this is where you log into your back office to get to this part here where you're seeing the back office and changing stuff and adding pictures and videos and whatever you want to do. So yeah, tons of tools in here. You can do a disclaimer. Oh, another cool thing I wanted to share is there's an option to do, this is your custom domain component, subdomains, things like that. And if you don't have a domain, you can just type in Ryan Luthi and see if it's available. And so for anyone just getting started, you can type in your team name, your name, nickname, whatever you want to do, and that'll be that.elavix.me. And so that's free and that's included. There's no extra. But if you own a URL, you can link it. The other thing I was going to say is this is kind of a neat feature. So specifically for someone looking to grow your rev share, you may have resources and things that you want to share with some people, but not everyone. So maybe the rev share or a comp model or something like that, right? That shows how, if you built a team, this is how it could look, that kind of thing, right? So what you can do is you can lock certain pages, and basically, so if I want to lock my MLS search, and then I just type in a code. So 1234, 2265, whatever. And then if I want someone to be able to access that page because I've been, talking to them about possibly joining our team, learning more about EXP, I can give them that code, and then they can access a deeper level of information that I might not want to share with everyone else. So, and then if I hit save on that, obviously then it's going to lock the MLS out. I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to go back on that. But so you got the lock hub option, and then the documents is where I added the PDF that I showed you guys earlier. So yeah.
And this is where I just saw, right? Like there's other digital business cards and things like that, right? There's Popple, there's digital business cards, there's other websites, right? We have all of this. To me, I just saw the simplicity of everything in one place, combining everything, and for it being $9, right? Like, I mean, most of us will spend more than that at Starbucks, on a monthly basis at the end of the day. And so having something, especially because, I mean, man, I'm just looking at the faces here. How many of you guys have I met at conferences and done this and done that, right? Like, we just have to have something that's easy. And if it's easier for you, that means that you're going to use it. More importantly, if it's easier for your clients, the people that you're connecting with, now they're going to use it, right? Because the whole goal is not to go out and hand out your business card to as many people as possible. It's to capture their information. Because once you capture their information, now you can connect with them on social media. Now you can follow up with them. Now you can do this. That way you're not just hoping like, oh man, I hope, I met Maggie a couple of years ago, right? And it wasn't like, oh man, I hope Maggie calls me and stuff eventually here. No, like literally I would continue to follow up and check in and how are you doing? And, when the time was right, then we were able to finally come together and stuff like that. So this is where you want to capture that info and then bring it out so that you can incorporate the follow-up and stuff like that as well. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know I had one. I didn't even know I had one built yet. So, okay.
Yeah. So I have had the team build out a hub for Larry. So this is another example of a kind of a different themes and different colors. This is some videos and some things that we found online. Larry is a man of many titles, so we took the LinkedIn option there, VP of Realtors and Partnerships. I like that, but it shows Larry on stage speaking, talks about what he's all about, things like that, and this is literally something that you could build what we have here for Larry in probably 10 minutes if you have all the information. So assuming you have your LinkedIn link and all these different things, whatever you want to connect to it. It's right there. So some pictures of Larry and his fam, right? So maybe he wants those on there, maybe he doesn't, right? So these could be a number of different things. These could be pictures of you with happy homeowners, right? And their beautiful homes that just stacked on top of each other, and tons of people that show them that you're human and you help people, and they're smiling and standing next to you, so they probably like you, hopefully, right? So kind of cool. Just wanted to share just a different look. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. And do you have a link? Can you put a link in the chat box and stuff like that, that people can go for a free trial and stuff? And this is just like with what I say with everything, like use the free trial, test it. If you like it, continue it. If not, like I'm not an owner in it. Like it literally matters. It's not going to affect my life at all. But if it makes your life easier, if it's something that you're going to use, if you felt like it was easy to pop this up, and now, you know, for a lot of you guys, it's something that makes you stand out amongst asset managers, right? This is where everybody's out there handing out business cards to asset managers, right? This gets you straight into their phone, but better yet, hopefully it puts them directly in your phone, right? Like this is where the business card is a little antiquated at this point in time. So this is where I see some of these opportunities, you know, for us to capture this information, and now we can do the follow-up and stuff after that. So what kind of questions, comments, concerns do you have for Ryan? And there's the link there that he just put in there. But anybody have any questions on this?
This isn't a question, but I thought you gave a good presentation, did a good job, and that it seems very user friendly, and for the cost, it's kind of a no brainer.
I had someone because I was just sharing this. I was at EXPCon, and they're like, you know, this is really cool, and we were chatting about it as a tool or whatever. Because obviously, you know, another agent and thinking about his growth, and that's why you're there, right? A big part of it. And he's like, "Is there a reason I wouldn't do this?" And I was like, I can't think of any. So you know, because I mean that's just it. Like my website, which I think evidently I was overpaying for, but even if I wasn't, hosting and that stuff's not free, right? And so, you know, it does add up. What I was going to say too, one thing I was going to mention is for anyone who signs up, does the free trial, get in there, get some things built. Like I said, you can build basically some version of what I have set up for Larry in 10 minutes. It does not take long. And then if you guys want, what we can do is maybe in the next week or two or sometime, if it's helpful for you guys, I could set up a Zoom call live with somebody from the Elavix team to do a deep dive on like how to do some of the cooler customizations and things like that. If you want a little more hand holding, just as kind of a favor. It's not something that's typically offered, but if that's something that would be helpful after you've had your initial kind of hub built out, I'd be happy to try and set that up. So Brett,
Beautiful.
Good question. The .me, no. So when you're buying domains, URLs, whatever, I did that with GoDaddy. So all of my domains are with GoDaddy. So I have ryanluthi.com. I have bluedoormn.com, which was my main real estate site, and then I just bought bluedoormn.me. So it's literally $4.99. So unless it's something that's really popular, there's still a lot of availability out there, especially .me. A lot of .me's are available super duper cheap, and I just do it all with GoDaddy. But there's other sites that you can buy it on as well. Good question. How to connect to KV Core? Good question. So basically, get in there, build out your hub. And then Zapier is a separate service. So they're kind of like a internet highway company, I would say, kind of, where they're creating the connection between KV Core and your Elavix hub. But in the meantime, I'm working on some back-end stuff with them and trying to see if there's a way that we can connect directly to any of the CRMs, specifically KV Core. Follow-up blast was mentioned at the conference that I was talking to someone about. So we're seeing if there's any kind of cheat codes there as well. But if you're super active in your CRM, then you just sign up for Zapier. It's a link in the back, and you can just connect it that way. It's pretty slick. There's basically just like codes or whatever that you put in there, and then it usually the software does the work for you. So. Spoken like a true non-tech guy, right? Yeah. Put codes in there. The launch code.
Anything else, guys? Anything else? Again, there was a lot of interest when he had just kind of brought this up and shared this last time. So I wanted to take a deeper dive into this. The link is in there. Again, test it, break it, buy it. It's kind of irrelevant, but see if it's something that you could actually use. See if it's something that fits into your game plan. You know, I think the price is right there, and that's something that's kind of got away from us. You know, I remember when I got rid of cable and I just went to Netflix. Well, now I have 20 different Netflix, right? I have YouTube, I have you know, I have Prime, I have this. Like now I'm like, damn it, I think I'm paying more than I was for the cable now, right? Because it's all of these, you know, 20 and 40 and this and that. And oh, if you want this, right? It's all of these different things. And so again, the consolidation is great, but I think it also makes it very cost effective and stuff at the end of the day as well. Which is really cool. So I think it could add a lot of value and stuff for people. So I just wanted to share that. It was something that a lot of you guys had asked for and stuff there. We can do a follow-up or a private, you know, call and stuff with Ryan for those that do want to take the you know, the advantage of the free trial and stuff like that. We'll get this up on YouTube and we'll post the recording and stuff there. And Catherine, if you could just make sure that that link for the free trial is in there for people, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you guys need anything, you guys can reach out to me. You guys can connect with Ryan Luthi directly and go from there. But I appreciate you guys. Love you guys to death. And we'll get after it. And then let me see next week on the calendar. I believe I am interviewing somebody for a potential guest for next week. And so I think I will have a guest there next week. And then we have somebody from the EXP growth team coming on talking about a lot of our changes and stuff here in the near future as well. So if you guys need anything, call, text, or email me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Ryan, for just kind of sharing this with us. Guys, go out there, use it, do whatever we got to do. And I will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.